this thing. Thank God for the red button. Welcome again to Wood Crescent. So good to see everybody this morning. Just want to, again, I don't know if it was a distraction for anybody else, but for me it was. And Rosa got been left out, and all the ladies over here went out with her, but I do appreciate that. She has been sick, so. But it goes right along with the message today, so it's kind of appropriate, I guess, because it's called We Interrupt This Program. So I felt a little interrupted there. I was concerned, but thank God for your prayers. It's not so much nowadays, I don't guess, but I know when I was a kid growing up, a long time ago, black and white TV days, you only had 3 networks. You had NBC, CBS, and ABC. If you were lucky, you had a tall enough antenna to live in the country. Anything big happened, land on the moon, assassination, those kind of news reports, would break into Gunsmoke or Andy Griffith and would say, "We interrupt this program for the following special report." You didn't have a DVR. You just missed whatever President was going to say or whatever Andy was going to say. You listened to this. Of course, it was usually such a momentous, historical type of announcement that your mind really wasn't on what program you were missing. You were watching history unfold in front of you on the television set. Today, I don't know so much anymore if we get to hear that phrase anymore because everything is so, technology. You know the news before it happens almost, right? And we're interrupted by things all the time, even without the announcement being interrupted. Viral video this past week, there's a viral video every day, I believe, but one that kind of stood for several days was the guy on the BBC. Remember him? He was in his, what appeared to be a very professional office, doing his very professional report, and behind him his toddler came through the door in the middle of his report, and behind her came the smaller baby in the walker. Behind him came his wife sliding across the floor, trying to corral the kids and get them back out of the rest of that story is, if I can share this, if you didn't read it, was the wife was actually in the living room with her iPhone videoing his report on TV, just to have it, I guess, I don't know, for posterity or whatever, and as she's videoing it, she sees her kids coming to the picture. It was so funny. But it was fun to get the background on that. So all is well. It had a happy ending. But so We Interrupt This Program is the title of the message. And I think about God, and we can use the plural because it's the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So when God talks to us and says, "We interrupt this program," our program, that's accurate. Because He will. Have you ever had your program interrupted? Come on. Are we willing to be interrupted? Are we willing to put on hold the things that we deem so important every day that we have to do? And they are, when it comes to things like work and providing for our families and taking care of our responsibilities. Those are all in the will of God, things that are part of our program that are good, and we need to do those things. But occasionally, and more often if we're attentive, God will interrupt our program to redirect us onto His program, what He's going on. And that's where we find the abundant life that Jesus is talking about. That's where we find the lighter burden and the easy yoke that He talks about when He says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, take on my yoke." It's when we're following His program that we find that burden is lightened and that yoke is easy because we're doing His work. And where God is already working and He's already opening doors and He's already plowing the ground and He's already doing things and we just join in with His work, we just reap these blessings and these rewards that are not earthly. They're not measurable in the terms of money or in the terms of possessions. But they're things that won't be burned up when they're tried. When they're put through the fire, they're the things that will stand up and they'll hold up. Because when we join in with God's program, when He interrupts our program and we allow Him to do that. If you think about Noah back in the day, and he was doing whatever Noah did. I don't know a lot about Noah, really. I don't know what he did. He was a welder or a mechanic or whatever Noah did. But one day God came up to him and said, spoke from the clouds, if you can picture this, and he said, Noah, we interrupt your program. Noah, we interrupt your program. We want you to build a boat. For the next 100 years or so, however long it takes, we want you to stop doing what you're doing. We want you to build this boat. And through you, we're going to move on to the next chapter of God's plan of redemption for the entire earth. You're going to load up your family and all these animals that will give you a list, and you get them on the boat. And so whatever Noah had been doing, I don't know what it was. Scripture does tell us in the New Testament that while he was building the boat, he also preached the gospel, trying to get people to get on the boat. Nobody listened. So he ceased his program, and he took on God's program. He built that boat. Go a little further down the line, and we see a man named Abram. And Abram was with his family and with his dad and his kinfolk, and they lived there in a place called Haran. And one day, the voice came and spoke to Abram and said, Abram, we interrupt this program, your program. We want you to pack up everything you have and your whole family and move them to a place that I will show you. Where, Lord? Tell you when you get there. Just go. So Abram puts his program on hold, packs up everybody, and we know the story of Abraham as it unfolds. Read all about that. We just studied that in Sunday school, as a matter of fact. We went through the book of Genesis. Very good. We enjoyed that a lot. Moses. He left Egypt. He had killed somebody. He was on the run and went out to the backside of the desert, it says. He was wandering around and he met a girl. Imagine that. Next thing you know, he's married. He's working for his father-in-law, Jethro, herding sheep. And he's herding those sheep and he sees a bush that's on fire, but it's not consumed. And he says, I'll turn aside and see this thing. And he did. And he heard, Moses, we interrupt this program. You're not going to be a shepherd anymore. You're not going to be here anymore. You're going back to Egypt and you're going to tell Pharaoh, let my people go. And there's about a chapter's worth of argument right there between God and Moses. Did you know you can argue with God? Did you know you can do that? And not get... It's possible, because Moses did it. And he's like, well, God, I'm this, and I'm that, and I can't, and I won't, and I don't know how, and I can't, I'm a stutterer, and blah, blah, blah. And God just keeps, coming back at him. Moses, I'll make a way. You're the man. Cease your program. Your program is interrupted. It's time for you to get on board with my program. Let's go. And so he did. Jonah's program was interrupted. He got swallowed by a whale and spit out. And he still had to do God's program, even though he didn't want to. One of my favorites in the Old Testament minor prophets is a guy named Amos. Amos was told, he said he tended sycamore fig trees. I guess that makes him a farmer, but his name was Amos. And God interrupted his program. He sent him to go and talk to the king of Israel and tell him all the things. I'm sorry, Lord, I'm moving around so much. I apologize. Go to Israel and tell that king all the things that's wrong and all the bad things he's doing, And my favorite thing in that whole little book is where Amos says, my father wasn't a prophet. I'm not a prophet. I was just a keeper of sycamore fig trees. They put that program aside. And he went and he did God's program, what God had instructed him to do. There's lots of things we don't know how to do. These things that we could say the same thing. Well, my dad didn't do that. I don't do that. But God wants me to do that. You ever heard that thing that says, God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called or something? Something like that. I may have that wrong. He'll take you, your personality, your gifts, and your abilities, your fears and your doubts, take all that and somehow, when you obediently join his program, he'll take that and make something glorious out of it, make something good out of it. It'll bear fruit. It won't be so fruitless. Like a lot of our things seem to be, there's times I'll take on a task and I think I'm going to do this, and it comes to nothing because I'm either not smart enough or didn't follow the directions or whatever, and it just seems to fall apart. But when we go with God's program, we're obedient, we follow him, it just seems to work out. just seems to work out real big. We were back to Genesis. We were finishing that up this morning. There was a verse in there that we got kind of hung up on because I like it so much, and I got to leave the class so I get hung up on that stuff. But anyway, it's Jacob at the end of Jacob's life. You know, Jacob went through a lot of hardship, a lot of trouble, a lot of worry. He struggled all of his life with different things, and he'd lost his son Joseph and thought he was dead. At the end of his life, they brought him back to Egypt because of God using Joseph to save all the people from the famine. Jacob's on his deathbed. He calls Joseph, and Joseph brings his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, and he brings them to him, and Jacob blesses them. And this verse is really, has always gotten to me, because we've all been blessed in ways that we didn't expect. If we take time to look at it, if you take time to look at what God has done in your life, ways that He's blessed you and shown Himself strong in your life, maybe in areas where you thought there was nothing good that could ever come from that because it was such a disaster. But you obeyed God one day, and you started following Him and trusting Him. And you gave that to God. And one day, you take the time to look back and study on it. And you could be kind of in the position Jacob did. When he's putting his hands on his grandchildren. And he said, I never thought I would see my son Joseph again. But here I am. Not believe I get to see Joseph. I get to see my grandkids. I enjoy that scripture. So God's words will speak to us. She gives us encouragement, hope, faith. She gives us direction. She gives us correction. She keeps us on the right path. We get that when we come to church, we hear the Word, when we study the Word, maybe go to Sunday school or youth group, or maybe we have a prayer group that you meet with. But at the end of the day, it's God's Word that is alive. It's God's Word that should feed our soul. It's God's Word that you should be able to look in there and have something that will just reaffirm what it is that you believe. Christ gave Himself a sacrifice for your sin so that you might be saved. And everything else after that is just land down. It's gravy. But there's a lot of gravy. Matthew chapter 9, starting at verse 9, we've got a guy named Matthew, funny, the book of Matthew, and it's about Matthew. It's also in the other gospel as well. But anyway, Matthew is a tax collector. And I was reading up on tax collectors, and tax collectors, there were a couple of different kinds. There was a chief tax collector. Now that's what the little short guy that climbed the tree was. What was his name? Just want to see all the different ways y'all pronounce it. Zacchaeus, or Zacchaeus, wherever you put the emphasis. He was the little guy that climbed the tree. He was the chief tax collector. So he collected a lot of, but it also made him kind of a boss because he had other people under him that collected taxes. And so that's kind of what Matthew was, even though I'm not saying he worked for Zacchaeus because I don't know that. But he was one of these lower level tax collectors, I suppose. And tax collectors weren't very well, just like they are today, I guess. Not very well respected. But anyway, it was even worse for Matthew because not only was he not respected or was he despised just because he was taxing people, but they were looked upon as traitors by their own people because he was a Jew collecting taxes from Jewish people for the Roman government. And one of the things they would do would be, or the way they made their money was they added a little extra on to whatever the real tax was. So you kind of, were set in their own pay scale, I suppose, whatever you could get out of people. And so they were looked at as robbers and thieves, and that's why the people would say, well, why does Jesus hang around with tax collectors and sinners and prostitutes? So that's the group of people Matthew was grouped in with, right? And so he's sitting there at his little booth one day, it says in Matthew chapter 9, verse 9. It says, as Jesus went on from there, he saw a man called Matthew. I should interject here where Jesus is coming from. Right before this is the episode where Jesus was in a house and he was teaching and healing people. He remembers the guys that brought their friend on the bed and they tore the roof off and they laid him down through there. And Jesus said, your sins are forgiven. It made some of them mad. The other ones, they just scratched their heads because they thought, well, he's crippled. It's not about sin, it's about he's crippled. He wants to walk, you know. Of course, Jesus aims higher than that. But anyway, that's what has just happened. As the paralytic came in, Jesus said, your sins are forgiven, and so that you will believe I have the power to forgive sins, rise, take up your bed, and walk. And the guy did. That's pretty cool. So right after that, it says, as Jesus went on from there, he saw a man called Matthew sitting in the tax collector's booth. And he said to him, follow me. And he got up and followed him. Now over in Luke, the same episode takes place, and it says, he left everything, got up and followed him. Remember the rich young ruler, that other story in the Bible, where Jesus talks about the rich young ruler who says, he says, follow me, and he says, sell everything and go and give to the poor and then come back and follow me, but he won't do it. He doesn't want to give up everything. But Matthew says he gave up everything and he went and followed Jesus. Jesus, in effect, came up to Matthew and says, we interrupt this program with a special report. Follow me. Follow me. God will speak into our lives at just the right time and say, follow me. So I'm already a Christian, I'm already following you. But he's going to continue to say that. He's not going to quit saying that. He's going to keep following me. Follow me daily. Follow me in my, as Stephen Curtis Chapman called it, the great adventure of the Christian life, following Jesus. And join him in his work. Follow me. I wonder if Matthew, if there was a pause between the time Jesus said, follow me, and Matthew says he got up, was there a moment there where Matthew maybe measured the cost of following Jesus, or did he just get up and go? I don't know. We're good about measuring costs. We're good about wondering, well, if I stop doing this, if I'm going to answer God's call for this thing he's doing, then I've got to quit doing this thing I'm doing. What's that going to cost me? Then I won't be able to go fill in the blank with whatever it is we like to go do. I'll have to stop that if I'm going to go follow Jesus and do this. How hard would it be, Karen, to get the picture of the van back up there, or the Lauren back there?
I got you.
There's a meeting today. Right after this service, Elise is going to lead a meeting about driving that van. It says, love God, love people. It looks real good sitting out here in the parking lot. And you can see love God, love people written on it in the parking lot. But it's not loving God or people either one when it's just sitting in the parking lot, right? We need people driving. We got it so people can drive it. There's all kinds of ministry, and it's being used. It's carrying kids to church, and it's carrying the love God, love people to do ministry work. And I don't know who all it's carried at this point, but I know it's carried some folks. But we need more help driving that church van. And right after this service, there's a meeting, and you're going to provide the main dish. You'd like for folks to bring a side dish if they can. Yes. So, here's God's program. We interrupt your program, invite you to join this program. We're not talking about driving that thing every day, or every Sunday, or every Wednesday. We're talking about everybody working together to drive it, take a turn. I presume, after service today, meet with Elise, and you might want to participate in that ministry. Let's see here. Hope Women's Resource Clinic. Everybody knows what that is. This church has supported them for years and years. Everybody here, I would venture to guess, if you've been here for any length of time, has done something to help the Hope Women's Resource Clinic. Giving a lot of money, giving time. We always think about the young girls that they help and what they do there, but listen to this. The Hope Center needs some men to be mentors to expectant fathers, to show them what a biblical man looks like, to help them become the father that their child is going to need in their life. God might interrupt your program to go do this. I don't know. It may be somebody here. You may know somebody that this is who God is talking to. I don't know. I just know it's in this bulletin today. And I know that God uses the Hope Women's Resource Clinic to save a lot of babies and to teach young girls and to do God's work. And now they're expanding that to help men too. They need mentors to show men what a real, or young boys rather, what a real man looks like. And there's contact information on there as well. Maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe it's just somebody at work that needs you to come alongside of them and to mourn with them over a loss. Maybe God says, hey, instead of going to lunch and yucking it up with these guys, maybe you need to go over here and spend lunch with this guy or this lady because they're going through a hardship. It's so often that if we're not paying attention, we don't know why that person is being the way they are. We don't know why that person is short-tempered today. We don't know why that person is hurting today. We don't know why that person is not willing to do their job the way they might normally do it. But something might be going in their life, and God is trying to tell you that. Say, I'm going to interrupt your program. I know you wanted the whatever, but today I need you to minister. So I'm going to interrupt your program. I want you to join my program. As I think about this, and the more I thought this through, I got to thinking, you know what? God's not interrupting our program. We're interrupting His. God's program is going on all the time, all around us, and all we do is get ourselves so involved in things we've got going on in our own lives that we don't have time to see what He's doing. You wouldn't have to go too far. You wouldn't even have to go out of this room to reach out and be part of God's program. Something that He is trying to do in somebody's life. A difference He's trying to make. And we're just preoccupied, our minds on everything else. And listen. I'm right there. I'm a man. I'm content in my rut. Just leave me alone. Let me do what I do every day. I can tell you what time I'm going to eat that peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day. It's 9 o'clock. And I don't like getting disturbed, and I don't like getting disrupted. I don't like my program interrupted either. But God didn't call us. God didn't save us to continue with our own program. He called us to join Him in His program and do His work. Do what He. There's a verse in Acts where God is calling out to, his name is Saul at the time, but when the bright light of the voice comes, and one of the things he says to Saul, he says, Saul, why are you kicking against the goads? I always wondered what that meant when I was a kid, and when somebody finally preached on it and explained it one day, and I was listening, and he said that that's on, when you have the oxen, there's the thing behind them that has the sharp sticks on it, and that goad would poke them in the rear end and get them going whenever they would plow it. And that's what Saul was doing. He was kicking it. Saul was the most educated. He knew everything, and all he was doing with that knowledge and all that stuff he knew about God was persecuting the church until God got a hold of him. And he converted and became a Christian, and then all that stuff he had been doing against the church, then he built the church. He used that same knowledge and that same education to do God's work. He joined God's program. He quit doing his program, which was against God, and started doing God's program, and we know the result of that. So we can resist God, and we can... Sometimes he'll even discipline us if we're resisting him too much. But we need to do God's program. Now, there's one program I do want to touch on real quick that God interrupted, that we all benefit from. If you're here today and you haven't reaped this benefit from God's program interruption, I want this to be your day. I talked about Kairos earlier. I want you to know that there's people here who know a lot more about Kairos than I do, so I'll just say, Jerry and Billy, don't correct me from there. Tell me later. Tell me later if I get it wrong. But over this program, these men that come in, 42 prisoners, and are ministered to through this 4-day period, 3.5-day period, today is pretty much decision day. Today is the day they take what they've heard and what they've experienced and the opportunity to either receive or not receive God's free gift. So y'all be in prayer about that, because this will be that time pretty soon here today. There's 22 Kairos is going on around the nation today, I think, is what they said yesterday. We've got to make that same decision at some point in our lives. And God interrupted a program called sin. Sin was entered into the world through one man, Adam. Sin was conquered by one man named Jesus, the God-man Jesus, who came and lived a perfect life and died on the cross. He interrupted the program that sin has run amok on the earth for all these years, centuries. And God said, we interrupt this program. Death, hell, and the grave, no more. You don't have to fear that. Jesus came and interrupted the program called sin for you and for me. I just want you to hear today to know that just like those men at Kairos who have made mistakes and got themselves in that position by mistakes that they've made, and they know that they're guilty of things, well, guess what? We are all guilty of things. Christ died for them, Christ died for us as well. And just like those men are making a decision today, we have to make that same decision. By one man, sin entered the world. The program of sin, death, and destruction marched on through the ages until Jesus came, and through one man, sin was defeated. And we don't have to continue that program any longer. That program has been interrupted. There's been a news break. A very important message. Your sins are forgiven. Your sins are forgiven. Jesus has come that we might have life and have it more abundantly. And we can join his program and turn things around and do things his way.